just the Zoom?
All right. So for our Management 340 group project, what we did for our topic was the hybrid workplace. And essentially what the hybrid workplace is a job that offers convenience to its employees, whether that be online or in person, whatever they prefer. They can do either or they can do both. So on one day they could be going in the office, and then the other day they could be online. That way makes it easier for them, especially if they live really far away from said job. They can do it from home, from online. And let's say the next day they have a meeting, then they can drive, but they only have to drive that day, and they could always come back home to do their work. And online hybrid works really well for individual work. When you don't need to go in the workplace for anything, it's really convenient to just be able to do all your work from home if that job provides it, which in this case it does.
Yeah, so to kick it off, I chose a company called Allstate, which I recently interviewed for. From News.com, they stated in the long term, approximately 75% of Allstate employees in the U.S. will remain primarily home based with access to local offices if they so choose. Another 24% will primarily work in a hybrid model, splitting their time between Allstate office and their home office. Basically means that most of their workforce is completely fully remote, but a little portion of their workforce is a little bit of hybrid, which means a couple of days in the office, a couple of days at home. They provide flexibility, allowing individuals to strike a better balance between work and personal life. Ultimately, the adoption of remote and hybrid work reflects a modern approach to work life integration, catering to the diverse needs and preferences of today's workforce.
The next company that we have chose was Velocity EHS, and that's the company I work for. Velocity EHS has a work for all mentality, which is a new approach to the remote first slash hybrid model. And something about this too is the flex time, which is you pick your own hours as long as the 40 hours are met. And during the summer, that is June to September, there are what are called summer hours, which are half day work days. This reduces the stress that comes with commuting to the office, and it also aims to meet the needs and responsibilities of the global community. Since Velocity EHS is a global company based in the US, Canada, Ireland, and Australia. And from my personal experience, this has allowed me greater flexibility when it comes to planning appointments and other last minute events, and has also reduced my stress with since I don't have to commute anymore. And that extra time has allowed me to be more productive and end work earlier.
So for the third and final company, I did PwC. And a bit about them is that a lot of employees who work at PwC are hybrid. The way that this firm functions is by having the 50% of employees in the office space at a certain time, and then the rest of the 50% at home, because this allows people to have the option to work from home if they are in the office for a certain amount of days. It is very crucial to have people in the office in order to provide services that you can't while working at home remotely. PCW employees come into the office once in a while for training, connections, collaborating with others, and work events. Some of the data that I found on their site is that 6% of employees think that 1 to 3 days per month is good to meet in the office. 5% thought that one day a week is good enough. 15% thought that 2 days per week is good. 29% thought that 3 days per week is good. 18% thought that 4 days a week is good. 21% thought that 5 days a week is good. And then the rest of that 5% thought that the employees don't even need to be in the office in order to maintain a good working environment overall. That is my part for PwC.
The reason why the hybrid workplace is such an important role and task in today's work environment is the increased flexibility and the work-life balance. The workers and slash employees can choose to work from home or in the office, providing a better balance between professional and personal life. This flexibility is particularly valuable for individuals with diverse needs, such as parents, caregivers, or those with a long commute. Another importance about the work-life balance is increased employee satisfaction and productivity. According to Forbes, one of the main benefits of a hybrid work model is increased productivity. Another benefit of the hybrid work model is reduced costs. Companies that allow their employees to work from home or other remote locations can save money on office spaces, utilities, and other expenses. And the last and final point is talent attraction and retention. When companies offer hybrid workplace and working from home, more new hires would be more inclined to join their company, and current employees would be more inclined to stay at that company that they're working for.
So I have some recommendations if either you're going to implement a hybrid workplace or if you have already implemented a hybrid workplace. If you are already established a hybrid workplace, it is important to recognize like the human aspect of working in a hybrid environment. And what I mean by the human aspect, I'm talking about the virtual environment. Because if you're working on virtually and away from the office, not only is it a good thing in some ways because you are allowing more flexible schedules for the workers, but it can also be a detriment because that sense of being alone in a sense could create a sense of loneliness for the worker. And that loneliness can result in a decrease in efficiency and the productivity of work being done by that worker. In order to prevent this, having to consistently find a way to communicate or interact with the worker on any ways possible while they're away from the office can help reduce that sense of loneliness for the worker and overall make that worker feel more connected to the organization when away from the office. Another recommendation I have is if you're implementing a hybrid work environment, and if you've never done it before, it's important to recognize the aspects of if either working in person in the office or online virtually, you have to establish a balance between both work environments, because if you do not successfully create a balance between both of them, it might be more difficult to work on one environment than the other, or it could be seen as more grueling. And in order to prevent this, you need to create separate but equal benefits for the employees, regardless of the method they're working. And if you do this, you can prevent the notion that one person's work or one person being working on a certain environment, either virtually or in person, is seen or treated better than the other, which could create conflict. So having that separate but equal benefits to workers, regardless of how they choose to work, can help create the notion that everyone is appreciated in that organization.
One last recommendation that our group came up with is that a company should make sure the employees feel a sense of flexibility when switching over from a traditional 5-day in-person work week to a hybrid work week. Employees already feel a sense of responsibility to make sure to come to work in person every day. So switching over to a hybrid work model is supposed to relieve the employee of some of that stress. In doing so and being flexible in the time that they have to log on will make sure that they actually will feel important when they sign on rather than just another employee that joined the call late and is getting scolded for it. Another thing is to not be too picky about what they wear to the online work meeting, as those employees will learn to hate the online work environment if they are told how to dress in their own home and will not want to participate in the online work meeting after that.